Our first speaker is Joel Mahavik, Councillor of Ward 21, St. Paul's. Councillor Mahavik is campaigning the Toronto Poverty Reduction Strategy. This initiative is an example of how municipal politicians can help strengthen the social safety net. To tell us more about his vision for the Toronto Poverty Reduction Strategy, Councillor Mahavik.
Thank you very much. I love your passion. Well, first, let me welcome you to City Hall. This is your City Hall. It's not my City Hall. It's not somebody else's City Hall, but it is our City Hall, the place where people come together to figure out how to live a good quality of life for one another and for us as an entire community. Let me say as well that I love the theme of the artwork, stitching together a social safety, our social safety net, especially stitching. My partner is of a Mennonite background, and we have so many quilts in our home that it's from Grandma that it's unbelievable. And you know, when you make a quilt, there's the skill of the quilting, but there's also the gift of dialogue. Making a quilt is really about talking to one another, about sitting around the cloth that is recycled material, and you say, how can we create something new from something that was old? And it requires lots of talking. As you're stitching, you're talking, and you're working it through, and you're building community. And out of that process, a new dream is born, and new relationships are formed, and community is built. So I love that theme of stitching. The theme of stitching is a great theme. And it does fit well with some of the efforts going on here, with the great pushing that community groups and individuals do in here. And you know, I see folks from the Dream Team, from Children's Aid Society here, from the host of organizations that make up this great city of ours, folks that are very active on anti-poverty work, on poverty reduction, on rebuilding the social safety net. That is what has propelled us as a City Hall to say, you know what, we need to develop our own poverty reduction strategy. Yeah. And on April the 1st and 2nd, it is actually going to City Council to direct staff to put together a poverty reduction strategy. Now, you know, if the city does it alone, we can't do it alone. We simply can't. We need the provincial order and the federal order of government to be part of that process, absolutely. But that doesn't mean that the city doesn't make an important contribution. As the artwork indicates, poverty is complicated. Sometimes it's about not having access to bus fares. Sometimes it's about housing. Sometimes it's about mental health support. Sometimes it's about the lack of community. Sometimes it's about childcare, not having a place to put your children or your child when you are looking for work or looking to get to an appointment. It's all those things together. And the city is an important thread in understanding that poverty and also in understanding how we can overcome it. So what we're trying to do at City Hall, and that's what the motion that I brought forward at Community Development and Recreation that's going to Council on April 1st and 2nd, is to say, City, what are we doing? What is our part in it, and how can we help? And if we as a city develop a strategy, then we have our skin in the game, and that propels then, that gives us a lot of moral authority, moral credibility to say to the province, look, we've put money in, we've developed a strategy to reduce public transit fares, to reduce or eliminate fees for people who want to access recreation services. We've increased the number of childcare spots. We're doing this and this around housing, making our lands available for social housing purposes. If we do that as a city, then what a great role model for other orders of government. And so that's what we're doing over the next little while. We want 2014 to be the year that city staff works with the community and all the different agencies, boards, and commissions at the city to put together the plan so that the new mayor in 2015 has something on her desk in early 2015, and that is able to be implemented for the next 4 years. So that's the strategy, folks. And you know how you guys can help? There's no introduction without a class homework. And class homework is wherever you are, whoever your counselor is, make a phone call. Say, we know that the poverty reduction strategy is on council's agenda, and we want you to pass it and give it your wholehearted endorsement. And we want you folks also to make it part of the election campaign. If you hear a counselor at an all candidates meeting or a mayoralty candidate not saying anything, that's a problem. We need you to help us to say the right things and be the leaders that you need us to be at City Hall. So welcome everyone to City Hall. The struggle continues. We will be there, but you need to help us get there. Thanks very much, everyone.
Well, that's just wonderful. We'll see you in the morning. God bless you, Councillor. I just have an ad-lib. I forgot about really telling you more about the Food Not Bombs campaign where the food came from. Food Not Bombs is an international movement with over 1,000 chapters worldwide. Wow. They take perfectly edible food that would otherwise end up in the waste stream and uses it to cook and vegan and veggie meals that are given away for free. Their current serving location is Markham and Bloor Street, right next to Honest Ed's. Every Sunday at around 2:30 in the afternoon, you can contact the Toronto chapter via their Facebook account. And again, thank you to Food Not Bombs for their snacks this evening. And next I would like to introduce Patrick. Okay, Patrick, our first performer, is a spoken word artist, Patrick de Bellet. Patrick was commissioned to write a piece inspired by our social safety net quilt. Several weeks ago, Patrick came to our campaign headquarters and closed himself in a room with all 200 feet of quilt for a couple of hours and began writing the piece he will now be sharing with you all today. Patrick is an award-winning spoken word artist, an art educator and a youth worker. He began his quest to have his voice heard in the last years of high school, and in 4 years he won a national championship, earned the inaugural Youth Poet Honor Award, wow, performed on stages and taught in schools all around North America. Now at 22 years old, he continues to grow and push himself to harness the power of his own story, as well as the aim to inspire young people everywhere to tell their own. Performing a poem inspired by our social safety net, as well as a second piece from his repertoire. Please help me welcome Patrick de Bellet.
Hi. Hi. First of all, before we start, can we all just make some noise, please? Trying to follow a councilman, so I'm super nervous. Okay, so as I mentioned before, my name is Patrick. I'm a 22-year-old spoken word artist and youth educator. First of all, I want to say I am really grateful and honored to be a part of this campaign and play a part in this process. It's an amazing safety net that I got to see and spend a couple hours with in a room. So first of all, before I get into my piece that I wrote for this, I want to talk about how I am qualified to say this. I mean, okay, as a 22-year-old arts educator, I lack some sort of formal training in terms of the technical kind of terminology and politics. I don't have a lot of stats for you, but I have spent my life in social programs, and now I teach social programs, so I'm being paid by these programs, so they're really important to me because they pay my rent, basically. Also, what they said to me was, well, Patrick, that's what's hard about us speaking out, is that we're too close to the issue for us to make these smart decisions and step back and see the wide, big picture. But I had to step back when I looked at the safety net because it was so big. And I realized that I did step back, and that's what's important, is that there's so many people in Canada. This is such a very necessary thing for us to talk about in Canada, because there are hundreds and hundreds of people, all ages, that are in social programs. So one more round of applause, please, for everyone who played a part of making this safety net. Thanks. Okay, so I wrote this I was inspired to write this using 3 imaginary characters. These characters are inspired by different of these panels, these blocks that we sew together. So there's a little girl who has dreams of being an elementary school student, and she kind of stands for youth work as well as education. And then we have here a gentleman who has a drug addiction as well as mental illness, and that's about healthcare and supporting him. As well as finally we have a senior who's living on the streets, who's homeless, and that's more about housing and senior assistance. So here it is. Before I start though, in the spoken word community we do something like snap when we hear poetry. So can I get you guys all to snap together for me? Wonderful! That's okay, we'll try our best. Here it is. We all trip sometimes, some more than others. We're all just looking for a safe place to land. We all have our own weights that keep us off balance, our own cracks in the sidewalk, dirt clumps under our rugs and untied laces, and it isn't always a graceful tuck to an inspirational pirouette. When it comes to stumbling over these unstable cliches, we all need safety nets. A strong metal mesh on knights fighting a war for a cause they've long forgotten. We're not questioning our position as sheep born in battle, but we're just asking that our leaders be more shepherd and less butcher when it comes to their cattle because the threads in our nets are pulling. We understand that to settle other ties, we have to unravel many different spools, but don't leave us with gaping holes in our safety nets and expect us to be just fools and not say anything. I know, our nation's leaders have always been more suit than seamstress, but don't blame us. But it all seems a little more like a trap door, when there's nothing to catch us after we can no longer balance on the edges of shrinking political platforms and then call us cats stuck in trees with nothing but scraped knees. If I retract my claws from my paws and reveal my palms, you'll see at the helping hands of funded programs have saved me more times than I can believe. We just need you to understand. And it isn't some sort of heartfelt sentiment when we ask you to look for the people who have fallen through the cracks before you fill them with cement. And though cracks and foundations are inevitable, we ask that you at least cast a net. Because all she wanted to know is how it felt to hear her own name read from attendance sheets. But her dreams of being a normal elementary school student was drowned out by debates about soda pop and vending machines. Unfortunately, her environment and her upbringing has taught her how to live in places the same size as a locker, and we try our best with donations and clothing drives, but a broken girl with a door backpack is just a broken girl with some school supplies, like chairs attached to desks, like park benches bolted to cement. She's bound by these trip wires she cannot circumvent, and if her only wish is to learn and fall like kids her own age, does she not deserve her own net? How about him? A man whose only clear path was the track marks across his skin, as he watches perfect white smiles on TV spit all these silver linings but give him no access to clean needles to inject them in. With no dental, he does not have the luxury of lying through teeth. When the illness is mental, he truly is having a hard time recognizing his own ID. All he wants is health care to care about his health. All he wants is to breathe. All he wants is the freedom to fall and then heal and then be. Because with no home, there is no place to place your heart. So like old roads, it pulsates to the rhythm of tires over potholes, but our system will prioritize commuters complaining about bumpy rides, but jackhammers have a way of disguising the people who live on the corners you can now smoothly drive by. As a 62-year-old, she found the bottom of the bucket and then called it home. With the risk of garbage marking cufflinks and watches, it makes more sense to bury her with empty promises and then keep the dumpster door closed. It's bad enough that as a senior she operates on memory alone, but she does so with no roof or heater, just 10-page applications and 3-month wait periods on government loans, just to tell her that the process went paperless and to download the senior assistance app on her touchscreen iPhone. It's kind of morbid. How we sometimes preach to the homeless and poor about windows of opportunity and getting feet into doors when all she wanted was a place to rest her head and help to rebuild before the contractors dig those fancy pools in the backyards of Parliament Hill. So we all trip on our own feet sometimes, some more than others. We're all just looking for a safe place to land. But like a medic at his first time at war, the things that we have seen result in these unsteady hands, but as you can see, we will stitch our own wounds the best that we can. But if your hands are too full to lift them up, For our own safety net, will you at least stand tall? Because we all trip sometimes. And is it not our right to have a safe place to fall? Thank you. Wow! So nervous. Okay, I think we're doing one more poem, correct? Okay, how are you guys feeling right now? Make some noise! Yeah! Awesome. Tear City Hall up. Just kidding. Okay, so this one I've memorized, so I don't have to read off my paper. But that piece was my gift to this whole campaign. Thank you so much for having me involved. And, thank you, yeah. Okay, so this is a piece a little more specific. This is one written by for a girl named Jessica. I wrote it, and it's about her, and it's kind of mentioning healthcare and things like that, but more just overcoming obstacles to get our goal, which is kind of what we're doing, correct? Yeah. Yeah? Awesome. All right, can I get a peace? Peace! 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 I guess God placed her on earth with no intention of having her back, I dare say. She was placed on earth at birth with legs that don't work. I guess God forgot the path to heaven was a stairway. But life is just a game. We quickly learned there's no such thing as fair play, but she was never really a Led Zeppelin fan anyway. They told her step by step that she would get there. How ironic. They said just get used to the chair and it's downhill from there. How ironic. She feels like she was going 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. How ironic. They said it's a leap of faith for her to ever get her legs back. How ironic. I always wondered why she was the target. Her toes are forever broke. Those little piggies can never afford to go to the market. It's like it ended before it even started with the guys that she would meet. Because no one told her it's because she can't walk. She can still be swept off her feet. But what is she supposed to say? Lifelong walks on the beach. At the park I like to stroll, minus the ST. And we just sit back and watch as she dreams of top-notch sprinters sprinting against the time of a stopwatch as the tears roll down her face at the same wheels the kids blame her for having and cheating at hopscotch. It wasn't just hard for her. It was hard for her father. Knowing that he'll never be able to share a walk down the aisle with his daughter, but it's like they were wrong, with all the evidence of the fact that they love her when the bike with the pink tassels on the side collected dust once written by her mother and she dreams of wiggling her toes when she slept. Those dreams were quickly swept away along with the existence of her tapes of her baby's first steps. It's like everything just started to fall apart. And the band-aids that were meant for her scraped knees couldn't do the same for her heart. And he had the audacity to be upset. He is going to get mad and say, well, haven't we talked in days? And I just want to tell him, well, how the heck is she supposed to get on her knees and pray? You see, she prays. She knows that these dark nights just lead to better days. And either way, metaphorically or literally, she can't run away. She says, Patrick, it's more about what I stand for, less about if I'm standing. I just want these people to stop taking their things for granted because even if she can't lift her lap, it's still there for us to lie on. She still has strong arms to hold us up on her shoulder for us to cry on. And yes, God will always be testing, whether it's sidewalk cracks or subway gaps or simply undressing, but her fingers still work, so she uses them to count her blessings. And she uses those same fingers to point us in the right direction. Because it's kind of funny that we're both human and she bleeds the same blood that we bleed. But how is it that we have the ability to walk, but she's the only one with the ability to lead? All these speed bumps and roadblocks before her, but we're wandering stupidly. She's the only one moving forward. It's like we're on our butts and she's aiming for the sky. It's like we can walk the walk, but she's the only one that strides. She says, Patrick, calm down. If there's anything in the world I'm not doing, it's tripping. The world is in my palms and my hands still work, so I'm gonna keep on gripping. They said don't feel sorry for her, but celebrate her. Because the world needs her right now, and angels are still working maintenance on the heaven elevator, so for now, maybe God forgot the path to heaven was a stairway, but she was never really a Led Zeppelin fan. Anyway, thank you so much, guys.
Time to her other passion, the arts. She's a member of the Printing Spike, a grassroots theater organization dedicated to encouraging creative expression from the marginalized in society. Andrea is also a singer-songwriter. Their first CD is entitled Never Had My Kind Before. Andrea will be performing 2 original pieces, Raise the Rates and The Fire Burns. Please give a warm welcome to Andrea Matala.
Now, is this on? Yes. Okay. So, wow, after Councillor Mahivik and Patrick, those were very moving speeches and poems, and I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna rock you a little bit.
She's a member of the Friendly Spike, a grassroots theatre organization dedicated to encouraging creative expression from the marginalized in society. Andrea is also a singer, songwriter. Her first CD is entitled Never Had My Kind Before. Andrea will be performing 2 original pieces, Raise the Rates and The Fire Burns. Please give a warm welcome to Andrea Atala.
Now, is this on? Yes. Okay. So, wow, after Councillor Mahivik and Patrick, those were very moving speeches and poems, and I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna rock you a little bit. This is, you know, I never realized how big this social safety net was until I saw it, like spread out in front of everybody. It's like so huge. It's awesome. We really did a good job, guys. Everybody that worked on this campaign should give themselves a hand. Yeah, so, this is gonna go down, this is not gonna stop. No, yeah. Let's see. Okay. So I avoided killing your ears. That's a good thing too. So, this song is called "Raise the Rates," and this is the first, actually only the second time the song is being played in public. So here we go.
Anyway, thank you, Andrea, and moving right along. Before I let you go, I want to invite you all to the interactive aspects of our show tonight. Feel free to top up the drink, get another serving of soup. You can visit our information table at the beginning of the rotunda and learn more about our campaign. Vote for the social programs that the province needs to invest more resources in. There are resources at that table. Drop by our craft table, make your own contribution to our social safety net, and we'll add it to the 600 pieces already displayed. Not feeling artistic? Well, you can create a digital square by recording a brief message that will be added to our YouTube channel. Isn't that cool?
Right over
and
here.
I know there were a few people that wanted to do that, and there's the lady you can talk to right there. She's got her hand up in the back. Finally, don't miss your chance to meet some of the artists who contributed to our quilt. They will be standing next to their squares, and you can ask them about the issues that inspired our pieces. I'm one of those artists, and I just, that's the end of my script. Want to thank everybody. Counseling, Joanna, Naomi, Helen, I love you guys, and thank you for everybody coming out tonight. God bless all of you with working together in solidarity.